Welcome to So True, and today's devotional is entitled Pay Attention, and we're going to base our remarks on the text of Nehemiah 1, verses 1 through 11. Some years ago, I attended a pastor's conference at Cedarville University in Ohio, and I heard Mark Bailey, the then president of the Dallas Theological Seminary, tell the following story. On a particular day, a successful executive was speeding down a street in his fancy Jaguar, watching for children who might dart out in front of him. He thought he saw something, but as he passed, a brick smashed into the side of his car. He slammed the brakes on, jumped out of his car, irate, to find the culprit. He found the kid, or he caught the kid, and slammed him up against a wall. The boy profusely apologized, but explained he did it out of desperation. In a state of tears, he explained that his handicapped brother was too big for him to lift. You see, his brother had fallen out of his wheelchair and was lying between some parked cars. This young boy had tried to stop other motorists, but nobody stopped to help him. Therefore, in a moment of desperation, he resorted to throwing this brick at the passing car. The man, trying to swallow a rapidly swelling lump in his throat, helped the young boy get his brother back into the wheelchair. He tended to his bruises and cuts with a handkerchief. The boy thanked the man profusely. The man got back into his car and drove off. According to Mark Bailey, that executive never did fix the dent in the door of his new Jaguar. In fact, he kept that dent as a constant reminder not to go through life so fast that somebody has to throw a brick to get your attention. You see, one of the great dangers is to go through life with our head down and our hearts closed, lost in ourselves, captured by self-interest, imprisoned by demands. We become blind to the needs of those around us. Given that fact, that is what is so refreshing about the story of Nehemiah. Although removed by many miles through exile in Babylon, Nehemiah takes a deep interest in the welfare of the people of God back in Jerusalem. You can read about that in Nehemiah 1:1-3. In fact, the verb ask in verse 2 means to inquire, to consult. Nehemiah took more than a cursory interest in the state of play back in Judah. He wanted to know what was going on, coming to realize that Jerusalem, the dwelling place of God's name, was an international joke. Nehemiah then wept for days, Nehemiah 1 verse 4. He then chooses not to ignore what he now knows about the predicament of the people of God, which leads him to pray about how he might help the situation and turn back this disgrace. You get that in Nehemiah 1 verses 5-11. Again, read that chapter. Nehemiah cultivated an enlarged heart that bled for others, not a constricted one bound on all sides by self-interest. Nehemiah was willing to be burdened by other people's burdens, which we are certainly encouraged to do in the New Testament from Galatians 6 verse 2, where we're told to bear one another's burdens. Nehemiah took an interest in others, and so must we. Got a question or two here. Have you inquired lately about the welfare of the shut-in or elderly person on your street or apartment complex? Have you inquired recently about the family you haven't seen at church for a month? Have you taken time in recent days to find out the needs of missionaries your church supports across the world and how you might meet that need? Look, here's the point. Let's not go through life so fast that somebody has to throw a brick to gain our attention.